Wow, pretty, sleek.
Parachute out.
Very nice.
Don't get much better than that, does it?
No, very clean. All right, we're at Lark's RC with Motion RC, and they've got a brand new release over there, the SR-71. Wes, tell us about it.
Yeah, guys, this is the twin 70mm SR-71 Blackbird. It is brand new. When you're seeing this video, guys, super excited for it. I know a lot of guys have been looking forward to having an SR-71 in their hangar also, and it was fun to get to share this with you today. So without further ado, I'm going to get it in the air. After this flight, we'll take it over to the bench and we'll show you around this model.
Let's do it.
You call it.
You ready? Go for it. Wow, pretty, sleek.
Gear coming up. Now the biggest thing I'll tell pilots when they get their SR-71s is to fly it big. So this aircraft wants big turns. If you pull it real hard, I'm flying it real slow for the drone that's chasing us right now. The trick is just fly a big pattern and you won't have any problem.
Well, it's got presence in the sky, that's for sure.
And that's only at a quarter throttle on these passes right now. Like I said, flying it kind of slow for the drone. The aircraft definitely likes being on step though. At about 100 miles an hour is where it really gets happy. I'm gonna keep it at half power for this pass. Be a little faster. We'll put the wing up. And you can see, I mean, it's great. Comes with an included gyro in the aircraft, which I forgot to turn on. That's why we're getting that wing rock. There we go, gyro's on and it instantly got so much more stable. It is definitely recommended you guys fly with the gyro on in this aircraft. Powering it back, we'll show you the slow flight here. I mean, it's beauty. Look at it, just stable as can be now that we got that gyro turned on.
Yeah, it looks good.
It was throwing me off. I took off and I went, man, it sure is rocking around. Ah. Stabilized helps, definitely. All right, well, he's coming down. Let's bring it for some screaming passes. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! And it does do rolls, so let's see here. We'll do a downwind roll. Here we go. Up, roll. You know, it's not really made for loops or Cubans or anything like that, but that's about your acro. Now,
that's not how you fly that plane, though. That's not what it's about.
So I'm going to come by and give you a gear pass. So aircraft's coming by. We're at 0 power, getting it slowed down. Landing gear are hit now, and you can see them coming out. Now we'll start setting up for our approach. Another thing I'll tell you guys, when you're coming in to land, you need to pick whether you're going to use reverse thrust or the parachute. Do not use them in combination though, or you may suck the parachute into one of the ducts, which was not a good thing. I've done it. So line it up, and it's like a standard Delta aircraft. Get your nose up, establish your glide slope. There it is, nose is up, and bring it in with power, and you're going to adjust altitude with power. Parachute out.
Very nice.
Don't get much better than that, does it?
No, very clean.
Now, I do not recommend dragging the parachute on our material either out here because it does turn it black. So I'm going to walk out there and get it.
You know, for a lot of those service, or a lot of those military planes, they have service trucks that go out and get them. The U-2.
That's right.
When it lands, yeah, they got to go out and do work on the runway. All right, Wes, thanks for sharing the SR-71 flight with us. Now tell us about the plane. What's the deal?
Yeah, John, my pleasure to do this for you. This is the all-new twin 70mm SR-71 Blackbird. It's an aircraft that a lot of guys have been asking for a long time, and there's never been one really modeled in this much detail or this much size before. It has all the scale features you could actually ask for on this airplane, and there's a lot of those Freewing touches that really separate this one from other models. So right here in the front, let's just start here. You can see there's actually plastic cladding all the way down this leading edge here. Now on the real aircraft, this is a very sharp point. If that was made out of foam, you would damage this all the time, taking it in and out of the car. So as you can see, that's all plastic. As we head up to the front, just like in other Freewing aircraft, this is a removable nose cone for anybody that needs to make repairs, has a bad landing, anything like that, or if you like to store your aircraft standing up on the nose, this just pops off. And the pitot tube up here on front can also be removed just by pulling it out. Putting that back on, it's just as simple as lining up the magnets, and it clips right back on.
Perfect.
Another cool, really neat feature on the SR-71 is the cockpit detail. So these are specific to this aircraft. Freewing modeled these new pilot figures that are in their little space suits. Pretty darn cool. You can see all of the indications and nomenclature all over the front. Those do need to be applied by the customer. There are 3 different options in this aircraft. Both the one you see here, which is the skunk arcs, there's a NASA paint job, and then finally there is a version with a tiger on the tail, which hopefully when it comes out, maybe you can pull a shot of those each out and put it in here. But yeah, as we move back though, you're gonna see the first battery hatch on the aircraft here. And there are 2, but this is the first hatch here. If we remove that, you're gonna see that this is all plastic cladded around the battery bay also. This is gonna keep you from dinging this up when you're putting your batteries in and out of the aircraft. That plastic cladding goes over top on both ends. Yeah, so let's take a little bit closer look in the battery bay. Now you can see this green board here with the 2 brass tabs. What those are actually used for, if you see on the hatch, there's 2 brass receiving points here. That's for your light on top. So if we put that back on, you're gonna see that's gonna turn on our nav and strobe there.
Cool.
So instead of having a wire you have to mess with every time you take this on and off, now you got that nice clean battery hatch. Inside for that flight, we had a 6,000 milliamp Admiral Pro Pack. And I have it put right here for my CG. Now it does have plenty of room in here for larger batteries.
That's 6S, right?
This is 6S, yes sir. And you can also see right here, you see that multi-function control board right there?
Yep.
Okay, so what that's for is for customers that can't fit an almost 7-foot long airplane in their car. When you want, you can take this screw off, and there's 2 screws right here, and separate this aircraft here. There's 2 big long carbon spars inside right here.
Oh, nice.
So you can take that off and it makes the aircraft quite a bit smaller when you do that. So that's what that's for. You just have that one connector to take the nose off with.
Cool, very nice.
Now let me put that back on and we'll move back a little bit further. Back here, you see my back battery hatch. Now, customers are not gonna have it set up for a battery right out of the box. I put my receiver there. But you can see you have the 2 connectors coming from each motor. If a customer chooses, they could cut these and put 2 ends on it and then run 2 separate batteries, of course. Now, as it's set up out of the box, it is a single setup, but you do have that second battery tray there if you need it. This is your blue box that controls all of the functions of the aircraft. Let me move this out of the way. You see that little red switch right there. So what that does is it's your gear sequencer. So the real SR-71, the main gear doors hang down. But we know some customers might land in the grass, may not always hit the runway. That gives you an option to have it where it's the gear come out, the doors close. Now if I reach in there and flip it, if you want to look underneath the bottom here, it may not do it until we cycle them once, but if I flip that, there you go. So now the doors are open with the gear out versus closed with the gear out. Now let me pick up the airplane real quick and we'll close the gear right there for you. Here you go. So you can see what I'm talking about.
Nice.
So there they are closed. Now when they open, it's gonna stay open. Now with the flip of that switch, like I said, that's your scale landing gear feature. If you want it to be clean though, you just flip that, and now when the gear are out, your center doors are also closed.
Perfect.
Which is a pretty cool setup. So yeah.
Give you options. That's what people like. They like the options.
Yeah, everything's always about making our customers' lives better on these aircraft as they come out each year. So, I mean, and this back hatch is also all plastic in here. So you can see you're not going to damage this putting your batteries in and out.
Cool.
Very cool. Yeah, twin 70mm EDFs. They're mounted about right here in the aircraft. When we flip it over, we can take a look at that. We also have a working parachute right here. Now, before she hits the button, I want to explain how this works. You have two magnetic doors here on the top that are actually just magnetic, like I said. Then you have a spring-loaded hatch. Hit the button real quick. So you can see it trying to come out. I'm not gonna let it fly right now, but there it is. To load that, you just push it back down in there, like that, and close it. Boom. Now we'll throw it out here in just a minute, but it takes a minute to redo it, and we're gonna wait a little bit. Now, you're also gonna notice the rudders right here while we're back here on the back end of the aircraft. This is all cladded in plastic. Once again, this was a spot that was really getting beat up on some of the test samples, so we reinforced this right out of the box, so you don't have to worry about tearing up your rudders up here on this front leading edge. You can see that whole piece is plastic. Speaking of the rudders, cool thing on this airplane, other ones, there you go. You can see they actually are full flying rudders, just like the real aircraft. Pretty darn neat. And then if you look right here at this attachment point, you're gonna also see this is a redesigned hinge. This is the first aircraft to ever have this hinge from Freewing, but it's actually a double receiving point. You put a screw through it into the other pin. Now, a lot of 3D aircraft run this, but not our foamies. This is the strongest hinge design that's ever been put in one of these aircraft. So you have a ball link inside of two sandwiched piece, so you're not gonna tear that up. And the cool thing is the mounting pads on the other side of them, you can kind of see it here, they actually screw together instead of being glued in. So you actually, to rip this out, you would have to rip this entire pad out. I don't know if your shadow's covering it.
I got it.
But you've got that whole pad with the two screws on it, actually reinforcing it. So that's a very strong hinge design on this.
In my reviews, if you guys watch my channel, you hear me talk about that all the time. That is the proper way to do it.
While we're back here on the back, John, you also have another removable cone on the back. So, you know, if you're gonna be dragging the tail, this is probably the first part that's gonna get tore up. It's just magnetic though. Or for transporting, you got that little piece that's sticking out, and you gotta key it in there the right direction. Let me look. There we go, and it'll pop right in there.
You're gonna keep those spares on Motion RC, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We keep as much spares as we can. The graphics you're seeing on the aircraft while we're up here on top, the red that you see everywhere, and the no steps do come pre-applied. Same thing with these no steps. The rest of the decals on it, I did have to put on, so I just want customers to know that, that they're gonna get that. All the vents right here are also pre-applied on these.
Cool.
The leading edge of your intakes are also plastic, so this is another really pointy thing. If this was made out of foam, you'd break this off all the time. So plastic, plastic. They really think these out to make them as tough as we can now, all things considered.
And the wheels are gray.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna flip it over now and we'll take a look at all that. So let me flip this over and carefully set it on here. Cool thing with those rudders is they are plastic, so we don't have to worry about tearing them up too much if we're gentle. So yeah, just like the real aircraft, this is the first aircraft to get these custom gray wheels. They are a little dirty from landing them out here, but it gives them some scale look.
Yeah, no doubt, a little weathering.
But yeah, these are, you know, all three of them independently spin. You do have suspension. I'm gonna be careful about pushing on it right now though, because we have it upside down in the cradle. I don't want to tear up the aircraft from that. But yeah, you can see they are painted black right out of the box, which is a really cool touch. A lot of the landing gear now are coming painted. First ones to ever have the black struts though. And even the plastic detailing on the ends of your wheels are just like the real aircraft. If you actually look up an SR-71, they modeled these specially just for this aircraft, which is pretty cool. This is really one of our flagship airplanes. I can't stress it enough. The attention to detail on this one is just a step up. And it's always blowing me away how much these things change every time one comes out, as far as how they make more detail in them. But yeah, while we have it upside down, there's those 4 hinges again. All hinges on this aircraft are that way. These are not foam hinges. They are pinned and pocketed, you know, just like everybody's loving right now on all of our aircraft. The other cool thing, no more glue-in servos. Most Freewing models now are coming with these pockets. You take these 2 screws out, lift this cover, and you can actually pull the servo out without having to tear up everything, trying to get the foam out. And usually there's a connector right in here to actually replace them. So it makes it easy to maintain and keep them running. On both sides, you have 2 screws here, one at the front to remove the fan covers to get inside. We know a lot of customers are going to want to put afterburners on their aircraft. So there's a great setup for that. Getting a good look at the doors. Let's go ahead and put the gear up while it's setting here so they can see those actually in action. And they're pretty strong. This plane's, I don't know, 40, 50 flights now on this aircraft. I haven't had a single issue with the gear.
Very nice.
Yeah. Once again, these decals you do have to apply also up here on the front X section of the aircraft. There's those 2 screws right here to actually remove the front section that I was talking about earlier.
Right.
There's the bottom 2.
Yep.
And then you do have a nav light on the bottom also. And then a fully detailed front landing gear. As you can see, you actually have the, this is on the real airplane. This is just a piece that's going to actually help push, or what do you call this?
Strength is reinforcement.
Strengthen, there we go. It's strength reinforcements, but it actually moves with the aircraft. Pretty darn neat. You have the servo-driven gear doors, and the servo is right up here in the front. And then you also have your servo for your nose steering, of course. And this is especially made for the SR-71. You can see those 2 pots up there with the LEDs in them, day bright LEDs. You can actually see that in the pure sunlight. You can see that thing coming into land. It's pretty neat. You want to see this one go up too? Nice and tight?
Sure.
All right, let's give him that. Nice and clean.
Yeah, clean.
And there are actually 2 NACA ducts right here too to help bring air into the cockpit. Pretty neat.
Yeah.
You can see here on the gear up front, you have the black wheels because the gray ones are only on the mains, and then you've got the black separately modeled. You know, if you look at these are actually different than the mains. That's a little touch to attention to detail that maybe you wouldn't notice, but these are actually different than the mains.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is really attractive to the guys who pay attention to scale details.
Right. So
yeah, very good.
You know, let me flip it back over now. I think that's everything on that side.
How many channels on this one? 8?
8, yes,
8
sir. So it's set up as a, what do you call that? An elevon. So you have elevator on all 4 sections, and then you have ailerons on all 4 sections. You can see how they're mixed together right there as she moves them. There you go.
And you have the mixing board inside to handle all of that, right?
Correct.
So you just set up AETR?
That's it.
That's it? Nice.
As far as setup also, you do need to have an on-off, so -100, full +100 for your reverse thrust on any open channel.
Yep.
You need a -100 to pull +100 for the
parachute.
parachute.
Yep.
Now on the parachute, I would tell you to put that on a switch you're not going to accidentally hit in flight. There is no safety to keep you from throwing the parachute out. If you throw it out in flight, it does not fly very well.
Hey, maybe I can do an Edge TX video on a
You can make safety setups
arming
to
safety
have to hit
on
an
the
arm
parachute.
first and then hit it, yes.
Yeah.
What I do is just put it on a switch somewhere I'm not going to hit it. Eye, bind button, something.
Well, check
Taba.
RC video reviews.
Yeah.
You just reminded me. I have a video called 2-stage arming.
Right.
The same tactic would work on the parachute.
So
check
that
out.
is one thing you got to be careful on this.
Yeah.
You do not actually deploy that.
Have you ever
on
tried
accident.
it?
It was tagged on the test model, yes. I have not done it with the production airplane.
Does it
I don't
float
want to
down?
It comes to a abrupt stop wherever you're at. You can control it in the descent, in the alpha, but you're coming down wherever you're at. So you don't want to do that.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to pop this out one time real quick before we do it. We're going to actually let it fly. You're going to see it flies pretty high. Boing!
Boing, boing.
Yeah, and this will unfurl. There's the actual chute. It's kind of a wadded mess right now, but yeah. And the wind's the wrong direction right now. But you can see that comes out.
Yeah,
and
cool.
then it works really well. It's very effective. Once again, like I said on the landing, pick between using this or reverse thrust.
But not both, yeah.
Yeah, if you use them both, you put this out, go to full reverse thrust, it's going inside of one of these and it will wrap up in the fan. So be careful about that, guys.
Well, congratulations on the launch, Wes. I wish you guys the best of luck with it. It's a beautiful plane. It's an American icon, that's for sure. And really exciting to see that in a model format. So great job. Looking forward to see this one. So I'm looking forward to the videos. I know a lot of people are going to put videos up on this. I'm looking forward to seeing them fly.
It was my pleasure. All right, guys. So have fun here at RC Video Reviews. And until the next time, I'll see you later, guys.
And go fly something.
That's right.